In this session, students engage in word study games using an interactive whiteboard. They begin by matching vocabulary related to the social studies theme of early settlers of Ontario. This is followed by a cloze activity in which they insert the correct social studies term in the context of a given sentence. The students then reflect on how these games help them to be better readers and writers.
Today, a small group of students are going to be using the interactive smart board at a word study center, and they are going to be using a website called spellingcity.com, and this website we find really valuable because it allows us to enter vocabulary words that we're using daily in the classroom. For example, we have a word list on early settlers of Ontario. We have a word list on our mathematics words vocabulary for the unit we're doing in math right now. And we have a word list of some of our word wall words. Today the students are going to be using their early settlers vocabulary. They're going to be playing a matching game. This game just asks them to remember where a word is and find the match. It's just a takeoff on the old game of concentration. And then if they get time, they'll play a cloze activity game where they have to actually choose the right word to make sense in a sentence about the early settlers of Ontario. So it reviews some of the content that they've been getting in social studies, as well as being interactive and fun. Okay, so we have two teams playing today. Team 1 gets to go first. See if you can make a match, Nico.
Repair. Children. Children. Fill. Children. Children. Yes! Soot. Soot.
That's great. Tell me what you like about playing this game.
Well, I like how you get matches and you get more points, just as Angelique said.
How do you think Spelling City helps you to be a good reader and writer? Sean?
Because if you see the word on Spelling City and you want to spell it in like your writer's notebook or something, you know how to spell it because you see it on Spelling City.
Good. Anybody else? What do you think?
On the game, if you know some of the words, you can write them down and you can see them in a book maybe.
Okay, good. Now remember, you need to say the sentence out loud with the word you think is right in the blank and then hit the word. Okay, Angelique?
The farmer worked hard to clear the land.
The farmer worked hard to clear the land.
During the winter, families would repair broken furniture.
During the winter, families would repair broken furniture.
Children were expected to help the family.
Children were expected to help the family.
Okay, how do you think that helped you boys and girls as readers and writers?
If we were writing a sentence, it would help us put a word in it that makes sense in the sentence.
Okay. What does using all of our social studies words over and over and over again do for us? Justina?
You tell a sentence or a story.
Okay. Suppose I used the word, I told you what the word thresh meant, or skein. That was a hard one. And we never used it again. for 2 months. Do you think you would remember what that word meant 2 months from now if we hadn't used it since?
No.
So how does playing this game help you?
Oh.
It makes you remember the word if you keep on playing the game.
And if you can remember the word, how does that help you as a reader and writer? Suppose you were reading a book about early settlers. How would remembering the vocabulary that we've learned help you as a reader? Suppose you were reading another text about an early settler, and we've done a lot of work and played a lot of games with vocabulary about early settlers. Vocabulary that we learned in one text, how does that help you read another text?
Because the same word might be in the different text.
Exactly right. Do you think a lot of texts about pioneers and early settlers would talk about threshing the wheat?
Yes.
For sure, because that was one of their jobs. Playing our game, as Sean said, will help us. And Isabella, too, told us it'll help us to remember those words when we come across them again, if we use them while we're playing. And if we're writing. How many people can spell repair right now? Spell repair for me, Lucas.
R-E-P-A-I-R.
And how come you know how to spell that word now?
Because I saw it on when we were playing the game.
How many times did you see it?
Like 3.
Okay, so it helps us to remember how to spell a word, doesn't it? Yeah. Who can spell depend?
D-E-P-E-N.
D. Good girl. Okay, so that helps us a lot, doesn't it, to see the same words over and over again. And it's repeated reading as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Remember what we said about repeated reading. What does it do for us? Reading the same thing over and over and over again, like a Reader's Theater script or one of our poems. Nico?
The more you read, the better you get.
The more you read, the better you get. Perfect.